we are finally. We have been teasing you with this for a long time, but tonight's the night. I am delighted to say that my third book is officially out, and it is called You've Got the Magic Who Needs a Genie. This is a book that I have promised you I would write for years and years and years, okay? Everything that I know from 18 years and 450,000 miles on the road is now going to be yours. I've taught this in intensive classes, but not all of you can be there for that, which is why this book is now available for your hot little hands. Now, what's in it? We start with the basics. Whether you are redoing your show setup, whether you've never done this before and you're a deer in the headlights rookie. First thing is choosing which fairs to do, all the questions you need to ask to see if it's right for you. Then how to design your booth look, because everybody's booth is their calling card. Third is dressing for psychic success. Do you really want to look like a Madame Hoo-Ha or a Swami Swalanda, or do you want to look like you know something? And then choosing a front person. When you get busy, oh my darlings, there is no way you're going to handle the people coming up to you like you're the lunch special if you don't have a front person to interface with them, to block the crazies, to take the money, and to keep you fed and full of coffee. Okay, those are your basics. After that, it's the social approach. One of the most important things, I mean, there are 6 million psychics out there, but you've got the fakes, you've got the ones who do it kind of sort of maybe, and then you've got the professionals. When you come into these holistic expos, you must look like a professional to the other professionals. It doesn't mean you can't make a mistake, but you have to understand what the rules are. So we talk about professionalism on the show circuit, networking with your fellow professionals. Remember, we're all in this together. If you go into a holistic expo, a psychic fair, and think they're all my competition, you will crash and burn. These are your buddies. These are your colleagues. And when somebody comes to you and says, I really need you to read this wedding ring, and you know you don't do psychometry, then you can say, well, I don't do it, but Maureen down the road does psychometry. Or someone comes to you and says, I have all of these dreams about Egypt. Can you help me? And I would go, well, I'm more a 16th century Tudor girl, but next to me is Crystal Wind, who is a certified tarot master and steeped in Egypt. Talk to her. Trust me, it will come back to you when you do that. I'm known as pretty much as the past life queen in the events I do. So very often someone who wants a past life will be sent to me. One hand washes the other. When you help someone else, all the boats rise, okay? And then of course there's advertising. A lot of these places are going to have information booklets. They're going to maybe do ads. They're on TV or radio, and you're going to want to be part of that. So you need to know how to do an ad properly. Then we go to the intangibles. How to charge what you're worth. Because you are not a gypsy, you are not a fake, you are not carnival. You don't read for $5. You earn your money, you are compassionate, you are focused, you're giving them their absolute best. Charge what you're worth. And the other thing is, don't be afraid to laugh. In February, I actually did a 7-minute stand-up comic bit on You Think a Psychic's Life is Easy. And it was nothing but stories I had to tell about my experiences over the years. We can be funny. It's okay. When you're funny, you get your client to drop the shields and the information goes in. The next part is the keys to self-care. Darlings, if you don't take care of you, you are going to, again, crash and burn. You're not going to be able to give your best to your clients. So we talk about the costs of being a road warrior and the fact that if you're not good to you, you're not going to be good to the clients. And the last thing is the grab bag. Yeah, you're going to be doing psychic expos, but after that, there are private parties, there are corporate gigs, there are webinars, there are workshops, There's radio and television stuff, and you also need to know the legalities. In the appendix, I give you a few tidbits of mine, but there is a bonus package that has, I think, 50 some pieces of my stuff, whether it's examples of business cards, flyers, signs for the table, my banners, workshop things, forms to fill out. I've given them all to you with the understanding, please don't copy them, you know, all the same words. My words are my babies, but they will help you key into how you can up your game in terms of all of your advertising pieces, how you talk about your lectures, that whole thing. And what's the key about that? People who are not here tonight, they're going to end up paying 15 bucks for that extra bonus package. But you, darling, here's the deal. We are doing a special rate of 99 cents. Yeah, 99 cents. Book is normally $4.99. If you go and download it tonight, you buy it on Kindle for 99 cents. We're keeping that price from now till midnight on Monday. Here's the secret. You need to post a picture on the Fire Through Spirit page, on your page, with your cell phone or your iPad or whatever, showing me my book cover to show that you bought it. Then that tells me you passed, and I will send you in a zip file all of those bonus pieces as a thank you for helping us goose this baby up the line for the first 72 hours. Now, you see that I've got 3 faces here. They're very important faces. Judy Bezos, wave please. Judy is the promoter for Illuminate Festival. She started out with maybe half a dozen. Now she's got 30 something, I think. So we're going to talk with her. Bottom of the screen is my buddy Tiffany Butler. She's local to me. Tiff, can you wave? Maybe wave. Yes, there she is. If we can get her to talk, then, because she's having a little mic problem, then she is both a promoter and someone who is a vendor at the fair. And my dear friend, Crystal Wind, certified tarot, wave Crystal, there you go. She is a certified tarot master. She has been round the block as much as I have, and she's been on the same circuit that I have for many, many, many years. And so we're going to talk about the book from the point of view of people who have lived it in the booth. So I'd like to start, if I can, with Judy Bezos. Judy, unmute yourself. Are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, beautifully.
Excellent.
So glad you're here. Now, you have, it's going to say, you're very special. But what I mean is, you are the person, when I first invented the intensive of how to be an A-list exhibitor, you actually brought me to Maryland and I taught in a 6-hour intensive class. So you've seen this material in action.
Yep.
Seeing it, what is the thing that drives you craziest that your people don't know when these rookies come in to the fairs?
What they don't know. A lot of them don't know how to present themselves professionally. You know, we're professional people with these gifts from spirit. You know, we're not the wacky woo people, and we're here to change people's lives. And, you know, it's a very serious thing that we're offering. And, you know, the hippy dippy tie-dye crowd, you know, I tell people all the time, what we do, it's not a gypsy yard sale. Not that I don't like a gypsy yard sale just as much as an ex-girl, but, you know, this is serious stuff. And it's very important that, you know, we know that people are going to leave our events changed. And so it's very serious. Bring your A game.
Okay, you froze. You froze a little bit. So let's see. Okay. So the last thing we heard was they need to really bring their A game with all of this. What is the thing about the book? You know, we looked. There's nothing else out there that was written like this, which blows me away. So what is it about this book that you went yes to? What is it about it that really said, my God, this is what I want everybody to see?
Yeah, well, it covers so many facets of exhibiting as a professional that people don't think about. You know, the booth setup, all of those kinds of things, the marketing materials, the branding, you know, how you come, how you're dressed, how you look. It covers every facet of that. And it's so important. It answers the basic questions. So then everyone can up their game. You know, if they have the basics down, it helps everyone.
And, you know, a lot of people have said to me, you are releasing this at the absolute wrong time. We're all in lockdown. There is an old saying, when fishermen can't fish, they mend their nets. We will have holistic expos again.
Mm-hmm.
It may take a year or two to get them as huge and gorgeous and juicy as they used to be, but they will get there.
Mm-hmm.
This is not forever. So this is when you have the chance to look at your setup, to decide if you want to rewrite what you do. Do you want to redesign your banner? Do you want to redesign your business cards? Do you want to maybe try doing private parties so that your patter is better and your skills are better? This is what we're trying to do for you.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one thing that you would tell a rookie to start with, that whole book, they're oh my God, is it the front person? Is it the way they look? Is it the way the booth looks? Is it the fairs they choose? What's the most important thing that you think will get them off on the right foot?
Ask questions of the promoter. You know, we all do it differently. I do my festivals differently than other people. What is important to me? And I always ask my exhibitors, you know, what's their intention? What's the big dream? What is it that they're trying to build? So myself as a promoter, I can hold that same intention for the exhibitor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we get them to, you know, level up. That's kind of what I think that this book's going to help everyone level up. You know, we're, like I said, we're professional people. We're bringing these gifts forward, and we're trying to dispel that cultural stereotype of wacky woo. And I think that this book will answer so many of the basic questions that people have, like what it's really like on the metaphysical fair circuit. And it will also get rookies to think about the questions they need to ask individual promoters.
It is so important because you are absolutely right. Your style of promoting is different from Bob Hall's at New Visions in York, is different from my beloved Stan and Ray in Canada. And what may be perfectly fine for one promoter, the other one will bite your head off. One of the examples I give is, remember, Canada is a very different country with different rules, different parameters. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that is so important in Canada, Stan and Ray always had very good insurance for all of us on the psychic fairs, but part of the rule was the insurance was made null and void if you sashayed in before they did. The rule was they had to be the first ones every morning in the hall or the building. Now, that may not be important to you, but it's the kind of thing that I have been trained to ask every promoter. My buddy Anna Rossman, for the show in Liverpool, it's not as, what's the word I'm looking for, as strict. And some of us can go in ahead of time, but then Syracuse, it's a much smaller show. So that's one of the things. Your promoter is not just there to make money. Your promoter is there to boost you. You are there to also shine for the promoter. Your reputations are linked. The promoter is not going to do anything to diss her vendors, her healers, or her intuitives, and you back your promoter. It's one of the reasons why you will, my darlings, listen, Corbie Gets Candid. There's lots of sections in the book, Corbie Gets Candid. Never, ever, ever diss one promoter to another. Never say, well, that show looks better, so I'll just tell this one I have to floss my dog and I'll go do that. You'll get found out. And once a promoter knows they cannot count on you, trust me, you will not be invited back. But when the promoter knows you have their back and you are giving them your professional A game, they will bend over backwards to give you the great lecture spot, the best place in the hall, and a shot of being on the advertising. One hand washes the other. Judy, am I right?
You are absolutely right. Thank you so much for putting it out there.
It's, hey, better it comes from me because I'm not I promoted once. Oh my God, I will never do it again. It was such a disaster. I'll share a little bit of it. It was held in a building where all of a sudden there was a backup with the sewer, so the entire place smelled of sulfur. Plus, this was held in Corbie where there was only one exit, and the exit had an 18-wheeler accident that blocked it for most of the day. Can you say crash and burn and buried? No, no, no. I will come and be in your fairs. I will not do it again. Being a promoter is not easy.
No.
All of the things you have to plan for. Good Lord. So in that sense, is there any other thing that you want to tell people, A, about Illuminate, and B, about the book or what they need to do with that before I see if Tiffany Butler has gotten her going?
Well, Illuminate festivals, we're taking the sacred pause, just like the rest of the world is, taking the time to plan, cultivating relationships. I'm doing a lot of filing and actually getting some spring cleaning done.
Good.
And I've found that a lot of our exhibitors, they are looking into different healing modalities. They're sharpening their gifts, distance Reiki. A lot of people weren't really digging it, weren't willing to try it. And now we're just so desperate for, something.
Yes.
And a lot of people are giving it a try now. So it's giving us that sacred pause and opportunity to hone our gifts, develop new ones. And yeah, we're just looking forward to getting back to the communities and holding space so all of you amazing practitioners can bring your gifts forward. We really miss everyone.
We miss you. We miss you. Now, in the back of the book, in one of the appendices, you'll see a lot of the places that I mentioned. And her website is there. It's illuminatefestivals.com. So if you're interested in doing any of her shows, they're up and down on the East Coast. Go to the back of the book. You'll see her link and go see what shows she has available. I'm very picky about my shows. I will always do one for Illuminate.
Oh, thank you, Corbie. Awesome.
Thank you, Judy.
All
right. So our next person, Tiffany is one of my neighbors, literally just a few miles down the road. And she is a gypsy witch doctor, and she runs a wonderful equine empowerment center. She works with vets. She's quite something. And she did a one-day show that was it was gangbusters in February. So she is what I call my bridge. She is the one that is both a promoter and she is also on our side of the table. Tiff, how is your mic? Are you there? I'm looking. She's gone. Tiff. Tiffany, she's froze. All right, Tiff, if you can come back, great. Are you there? I see you sort of maybe. Tiffany, Earth to Tiffany, can I hear you? Where's your mic? Mic is not there. All right. Let's go to Anita, because I know Anita works. Okay. Anita, unmute your mic, darling.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So, Anita and I have been on the circuit together, what, 2002? Just about the same time?
I think before that, but probably around there.
Okay.
I really have no idea when.
We're
It's been
just
forever,
on
it seems.
the road. And we just are. And then Ian and I would very often be next to each other, our booth spaces. So we know all the same promoters. We've seen all the same mishigas. For you who don't speak Yiddish, that's mess. And like I say, the stories. Now, you read the book
Yep.
too, and you read it from the point of
Yes.
view of, like me, we're
Mhm.
on the public side of the booth.
Right.
We're the ones bringing in people.
Right.
What is it that went ding for you with the book?
Okay. Yes, I read the book. I was only going to skim it. And of course, it didn't work that way. What I found reading it from my point of view as being, another reader and a few times I've promoted, but not enough to really count. It covered a lot of the territory that I wish I had known when I got started, because I think, like you, although you had more marketing background and you kind of had, heads up there. Me, I just hit and missed, and I can tell you, I went through the whatever that word was you said for mess, of the booth setups, the clothing, that's it. I went through all of that and hit and miss, trial and error, and I honestly wish I would have had something like this back 20 years ago or 30, whatever it's been. I'm now winding down on shows, so it's kind of like you learn. But I think that if someone could have the book, even if they're, have an old hat at doing shows, even if you don't take every single thing that's in the book, there are bits and pieces that are valuable. They're like little nuggets of, oh my gosh, I wish I'd have known that. I wish I thought of that, or that's a better way to do things, or I need to think about this better. You never once say in the book, this is how you must do it. And that I was curious how that would come across, and you didn't. And I know you, I know that wouldn't have been your intention, but I was curious myself, will it come across like, oh, here's the only way it should be done? And no, I didn't pick that up at all. I think this is very valuable as what I want to say, like a grid line to follow, whether you are a beginner or whether you are been around for 1,000 years and think, gee, things are dropping off. What can I do to perk it back up again? And that's the value, I think, for the old hat readers. If they choose. Now, you and I both know some of them may not, but I do think they should at least read it, take a look at it. And the writing is not at all difficult to understand. There's a gazillion pieces of information in there, and it's a fast read, really. I read it in an evening. So it's not like something, like this thick that you've got to go through and, go through a whole bunch of stuff. It's very, no, it is not. And it is right to the point. And I was really excited. I love the title too, by the way.
Thank you. Was there one little thing in there that was new information for you that you hadn't quite thought about?
Yeah, actually there was. Some of the, well, I think the most significant for me was keeping track and keeping up with your clients. I spent all those years so adamant that I didn't want to have to keep people's names and addresses and send cards and all that. And I can say, honestly, I regret that, because now that I'm not on the road and I'm not going to as many shows, those people that might be looking for me, they find me, but not like I think they would if I had known that or listened to your advice back all those years ago. Because I do remember you saying,
Sorry,
here's
darling.
what I would say you should do. And I went, oh, I'm not gonna do
Well,
And that's my own fault. Absolutely.
the thing is, I knew that starting this in my mid to late 40s, the way I did, the full-time stuff, I was not going to have the oomph to do this forever. And so for me, building up, keeping, the database, keeping in touch with the clients, doing the newsletter has made this transition. I admit, I loved being a road warrior, really did. But 2 years ago, the universe started going, honey, can we talk? And I'd go, la, 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 la. I don't want to hear it. So then the universe started getting rid of the old shows I was doing. They have a lifespan.
Yeah.
But I was still chugging along, and they were saying, honey, we think you should go up there, blah, 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 blah. And so then the universe said, we'll make our point, which is why last July, I ended up with a herniated disc and a pinched nerve, and I'm, healed from it. But my doctor said, you are no longer going to be loading in and loading out heavy gear, and you're not going to be sitting in a car for 7 hours for driving. And so the universe looked at me and said, do you have your point now? And I was like, oh yeah. And then when the big bug adventure hit, I didn't change things much at all. The business was already there.
Yeah.
So it's called, there's an old saying, belt and suspenders, belt and braces for my British people. In that two forms of your business. When one sinks, the other can rise. Eventually, maybe I'll go back on the road a lot more, and the home phone internet business will sink for a little bit, but I will have the choice. And this is what this book will do for you. It is really not just about the expos. It is how to be an A-lister in every place you go.
Yeah, there's more than just the shows, even though that's, what people will think when they, take a look at this, but it's a complete marketing package, and it's marketing you, not marketing as in selling Coca-Cola or something. It is marketing the person and how to market yourself. And that's the part that's hard for people to, a lot of people go around going la 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 la, because I did it too. I admit it.
We are our own.
I'm very good at it.
We're our own product.
Yes, absolutely.
And you got places like the Bash and Gig Salad now online, where somebody is having a wedding at Beardsley Castle on Halloween, and they want a tarot reader. Well, I went in and I bid for that. And so now I'm going to be doing their wedding, assuming they're doing the wedding. I mean, this is October and who knows.
Right. Yeah.
But so there are all kinds of ways to do this business. If you don't feel that you can do the big expos, start with the little psychic fairs, 20 booths, 5 vendors. You can do this. You really can.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm doing now, because I just want the down. I want to just go relax, not have to worry about front person and all the heavy duty stuff. And it's not because I don't know it and don't do it or wouldn't want to. It's just that I found that it was time for me to slow down. And I wasn't quite ready to stop, but the little ones work for me for now. But I agree with you. Who knows? Next year after that, when things pick up again, who knows?
But you don't want the universe
this is good.
whacking you with a clue brick the way they had to me. So no, you're doing.
Oh no, mine is a whole full-fledged two-before, a cosmic two-before. That is. Okay. I'm harder to get its attention.
Any last words on the book before we see if we can get Tiffany on board?
No, I just think that it's something that should be a manual in every psychic readers and maybe vendors too, because it's talking about the readers in 99.75%. But I think that it could apply to just the regular sellers too. There's tidbits in there that they could apply, if they're looking for how can I make things look a little, better. So that's
I try to
I
do
think
it for
everybody
readers,
needs
healers, and vendors.
copy.
So, well,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
that you're one of my oldest and
absolutely.
dearest, and so very happy that you found the book
Thank you.
useful and valuable, and that you took a little time on
I did.
Saturday to
I did.
talk. Thank you, my friend.
Absolutely. All right, you're very welcome.
Take
I'm
care.
going mute.
Tiffany, do we have you now?
You do. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. All right, let me reintroduce you. Tiffany Butler, known as Gypsy Witch Doctor. She runs Raven Hollow Ranch, Equine Empowerment Center. She's a massage therapist. She is full witch. She is a fabulous reader, and she has done that bridge. She is a promoter, and she is someone on our side of the booth. So, Tiff, what was it about the book that went ding for you?
Oh, there were lots of dings. So the first biggest one for me was, within reading it, I kind of went, oh, wow. Yeah, I've been kind of playing with the B list. I want to play with the A list. I want to get myself up there on a higher level. Doing the promoting stuff is wonderful, and being the front person for everybody else. But, in doing shows and things along those lines, a lot of the information that was in there about how to step it up, how to step up my game, not playing, in the kiddie pool anymore. I've been doing this for the public for probably about 10 years now. And if I could have read this book 5 years ago, yeah, my game would be a lot higher than it is. A lot of the marketing, definitely, I agree with Anita on the whole emails and recontacting your clients. That is really important. I finally found a program that worked really well for me, so I'm able to keep in contact, get my newsletter out there and stuff. Another big ding for me too was really about the booth, about like what to have at the booth. What really grabbed my attention was the testimonials. Yeah, they really are. And I love the idea that you had in there about keeping the book of the testimonials so people could read about you, because they really are. Your clients are your biggest promoters. So, having good testimonials and up for them to read. I love the idea of the little photo screen, so that it's not just the book in front, they can actually start to see it.
Right. The digital sign that kind of, it's like a bulletin board. We're like babies. We're motion happy. People will stop to watch the sign, and while they're there, then you can talk to them. It grabs them. So yes.
Like for me, I do that with my equine stuff, but I never thought about doing that with my readings. So that's definitely something that I'm putting together for myself. I like the little incentive about having them, write down the testimonials, and then they get, like a little raffle. I like that idea too. I thought that was really great. I've always thought your setup was fantastic. I mean, I'm reading the book. I actually, after I got done reading the book, I started mapping out a different layout for myself.
Perfect.
And how I wanted things to be. And there were lots of points in there that you made that a lot of people starting out don't think about, like color coordination. Your what you're wearing, what you're presenting. Some people just throw on an outfit and go. No, it's about having that persona, having that charisma that comes across. Either picking certain colors that make you feel good, or picking colors that definitely generate that vibration that you want to bring in. Like my booths are always deeper colors with lots of golds and greens. Gold energy is definitely one of my favorites. Let's see here, what else? On the marketing aspect, I really love the extras that you're giving with it. I think that's awesome. Why? Because a lot of people starting out, they've got no idea, what is my business card supposed to say? What is it supposed to look like? You've touched on everything. Like I said, if I could have had this book 10 years ago, it'd been great. But I think for, newbies coming out, it displayed in a way a code of ethics.
Yes.
A way to handle yourself and demeanor and things along those lines, and because we have to remember when we're out there and we're reading, we're not in competition with each other. We're complementing each other.
Right.
And, sometimes when you get out there, there can be a little bit of, yucky, nitty gritty, drama-y kind of things.
I call it bitchcraft because it is.
I love that. Yes, bitchcraft. So, if you hold yourself up here, you're not going to be involved in all the bitchcraft. You're going to rise above it. I know for myself, I listen, but I never get involved. If somebody wants to share with me, that's fine, but whatever they share, I don't talk about it later. I've been at events where drama has happened and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry that happened. Meow. Out of the way. And I think for new readers coming about, it's going to give them a sense of confidence that they have this wonderful field guide, the ins and the outs and the ups and the downs. And I loved how you threw in your little tidbits of your humor. That was great. And I agree with Anita. It was a very easy read. I read it in an afternoon. And funny, at one point, I was like, oh, I'll come back to this. And I was like, no, I really want to see the rest of it.
Okay.
And I probably had 4 pages of notes afterwards.
Good.
Yeah.
That's the one thing about it's not being a paperback, though. I'm not going to say never. I may do it, published on demand with Amazon. I'm looking into that. But when I have a book, I dog ear it, I scribble, I argue with it in the margins. So did John Adams. I love that. So the fact that you took notes is really, really good. Now, from a promoter's point of view, what is the one thing that was in there that you wish that you could tell every single person who signs up for your show?
I definitely would have to say the setup.
Okay.
With being a promoter and having certain things, the setup is important. You have to be prepared.
Yes.
You can't half-ass your booth. Your booth has to be prepared. It has to be prepared. It has to be at least appealing. Not a whole bunch of fluff, not a whole bunch of junk sitting on the table. You can have like a little gitchy thing or whatever, but definitely having it streamlined, clean-lined, informative. That's definitely the section in there from a promoter's aspect that I really liked. Because people don't know, what should I bring? How should I bring this? What should this be? And the extra stuff with like the flyers and the business cards, and as a promoter, if I'm to promote you, your information has to be clear.
Yes.
It has to be clear. It has to be on point. I need to know what you're offering. If your stuff isn't clear, I can't promote you clearly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Promoters, why are they called promoters? Because they promote you.
Right.
With your dealer vendor. So
Right.
It behooves you to help them with good stuff.
Right. And also as a promoter too, my well put together readers are going to be showcased. My unprepared readers aren't going to be showcased.
It's A list and B list.
Yeah, definitely. Also to putting together, if you're going to do classes, I like how you had that part in there about having things, okay, I can do this, this, and this, and this. And then that way your promoters know, oh, well, this person does something a little bit different over here. You know, I might be having workshops on A, B, and C, but you've got D over here. And I'm like, ooh, I want to put her at the top of the list over here. That really, that as, you know, promoter, that would be really wonderful to have. And definitely you're preparing somebody to really make it in the business. That's the important part.
It is. Look, I am on the down slope. I'm 65, kids. Been there, done that, sold the franchise and the t-shirt. But why should I keep this information for me? I want you guys to succeed. I want you to be the A-listers that keep these shows going for my friends who are promoters.
Right.
That's where we're going. Any last thoughts on the book? Because we're at like 7:42 and I don't want these people, you know, it's Saturday night for Memorial Day weekend. They should go and they should do something, even if it's the
my last thoughts are anyone who is a beginner, it's a great book for a beginner, and anyone who's been in the game for a while, don't think you know it all. And because there are a lot of things in the book that even, I mean, I've been doing this 10 years. I was like, ooh, yeah, that's good stuff. Oh, I like that one too. So, you know, just because you've been in the game for a little while, don't think the book couldn't benefit you, because I know it benefited me.
Wonderful.
And thank you.
Oh, thank you. You know, I am so thrilled with these three wonderful women who have come on to talk about this book with me. It's been so helpful. Yes, show all of your wonderful faces. It's been so helpful because when people come up to me at my booth, you know, we were talking about the testimonial books. I always tell them, I can tell you I'm wonderful and that doesn't count. Now I hired this woman and I point to my front person to say she loves me. These guys are the testimonials, believe them. And it's true. I have worked with all three of these women, for them or next to them. They know that I walk my talk. They know that I'm not giving you a line of hoorah. And they know that I want you to succeed. I'm a mentor for you, not a guru. Now, what's the difference? A mentor pushes you a little further than you think you can go, kicks you out of the nest just before you think you should fly, and I will sit in the audience and applaud you when you get better at this game than I am. That's a mentor. A guru always wants you to follow 3 steps behind. Not me, kids. I want to see you take this and run with it, which is why I wrote the book. So I'm going to remind you, from now until Monday at midnight, the normal $4.99 price is kicked to the curb. You can get my new book for 99 cents. Your job is, when you purchase it, get a picture of yourself, get a selfie with the book on your Kindle or your iPad or whatever your device is, and post it if you can on the Fire Through Spirit page, otherwise on your own personal page, and let me know. And what that tells me is you will get that zip file of the 50 some items that I'm giving as a bonus package. You can see all of my marketing, everything I've done. Take the ideas and run with them. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just don't copy it verbatim, because it's my energy, darlings, and you need to put yours into it. So much love to all of my wonderful women who have done this. Love to all of you out there. Go and get the book. It's You've Got the Magic, Who Needs a Genie? You can also find it by going through my website, Corbie Mitleid. You will see it right at the top of the page. It'll take you into its own little web page that tells you all about it. Go and be the next amazing generation. That's what we're working for. Okay? Love all of you. Go be brilliant.